Hi everybody, and welcome to Photomikes Garage. And welcome to my 2001 Viper GTS. As you can see from this photo here, my engine mount, at least on one side of the car, is gone. It's cracked, it's useless, it's got to be replaced. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to replace the motor mount. So I do have a service manual, so I'm going to check and see how difficult that is. Now, I did pay a pretty penny for this service manual, and it's not for my year, but many things are still the same over the entire generation 2. And I'll just turn to section 919, engine mounts, removal, raise hood, check clearance between pump pulley and accessories. Install engine lifting fixture to exhaust manifold. So you lift it by the exhaust manifolds. Raise vehicle on hoist. Loosen bolts holding isolator bracket to engine, the engine mount. Remove nut from the engine mount. Raise engine with lifting fixture only so far enough to remove isolator and brackets. Okay, so that looks pretty simple. Just a couple sentences. Does not look like a hard job. So I don't have an engine lifting fixture, so I'm going to use my floor jack to lift the engine from below, lift it up high enough so after undoing the bolts, I'll just be able to slip out the motor mounts and put in the new ones, and I should be good. I don't think there'll be any trouble at all with this job. It'd probably take me a couple hours. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay, I tried to do it the lazy way by just lifting up one side of the engine so I could do one motor mount at a time. That did not work. It did go up an inch or so, but I need a lot more room than that. So I've got to do both motor mounts at the same time. I've got to undo that one, then lift up the whole engine high enough to get the both motor mounts in. So now I got to undo that motor mount right there. Okay, so I've got the two upper bracket bolts loose, but if you look here, I got to get this bolt off. That's a 3/4 inch bolt. I got to get that sucker off, and I think it's supposed to be down here in the slot. It's up here, and I cannot get a straight shot. Yeah, one sentence in the service book works out to be 2 days of work for me. This is definitely not as easy as it would have appeared. I cannot lift up the engine any more than I have, and so there's not enough room to get the motor mounts out as one whole unit. You have to take them apart in the car. That means you have to get both nuts off of the rubber mount to the bracket, and that's not easy to do. They're rusted on, so I use heat for all of them, and it's taking multiple attempts at the heat, but it's working. I'm going to get them out, and then of course the new ones have to go back in the same way, piece by piece, put everything in, then put the bolts on, and then tighten everything up, which is also not easy as well. But anyway, I'm getting it done. Okay, fire did the trick. I got it off. Yeah. As long as you're not going to burn the car down, fire is always the go-to method to get a rusted bolt off. Okay, I had to use fire on the upper nut as well because I can't get this whole assembly out. I can't lift the engine up high enough. I don't know why. Okay, it was a struggle, but all the engine mounts are off. You can see how bad it is. This is the passenger side, which is rusty, worn out. It has got a crack, but this is the worst. You see, it's completely broken. The rubber isolator is destroyed. This is why I had to do this job. Hopefully the installation of the new ones will go easily. Okay, day 3 of trying to change my motor mounts. Oh, what a hassle. Okay, so on the driver's side, the motor mounts, there's enough room for the new ones to go in. On the passenger side, there's not enough room. I raised the engine as much as I could, and it just won't go up anymore. And I think the reason why is because I have Belanger exhaust. I have Belanger long tube headers, and they're bigger, and they're actually interfering and touching the frame of the car, and that's why I can't lift that side of the engine more. So I think I have to disconnect my headers on one side, the passenger side, and then I'll be able to lift up the engine enough to get that new motor mount in. Okay, I did it. I finally got both motor mounts in this Viper. Ugh. Let me show you. I got that one in. It is pretty well fully installed. There's the bolt. Got this one in. I tell you what I had to do. The only way I could get this in was by cutting the bolts on the motor mount shorter. There's still enough threads for the nuts to go over, but I had to cut them short. It's the only way I could fit it in there. Only way, and it was really tight. Man, oh man, what a job. All right, this is what I mean. I had to cut off the ends of the bolts of the motor mount in order to get that sucker in. All right, a job that should have taken under a day has taken me 3 days to do because of the difficulty. And the real answer is because I have aftermarket headers on this Viper. I've got Belanger exhaust headers, full-length headers, and they take up more room in all the spaces under the sill where they go through. There's barely enough room so that when you try to lift the engine only goes up maybe an inch, and that's not quite enough to get the motor mounts in. So the only real answer would have been to take off the headers, and I did loosen them. I loosened them at the cylinder head, so I had a few extra millimeters there, but to take them off, it's a big job. So I'm glad I didn't have to do that. So I cut the bolts off the motor mount on the passenger side. There's still enough threads for the nut to be fully engaged, so it should be safe. But yeah, that's what I had to do, get these on. On the driver's side, I was able to get the motor up high enough to just barely get the motor mount in without modifying it. Anyway, the job is done. New motor mounts in my 2001 Viper GTS. Thanks for watching Photomikes Garage. I will see you next time.